Hello everybody, this is Spartan Grown coming to you from the Grandmaster Level USA warehouse. I wanted to show you how to hook up a Explorer and a Volcano. It'd be any number of volcanoes hooked up together. Well, at least, up to 100. All on using one controller. So, first thing you need to do is physical connections. You got power for your both lights plugged in and the power for your controller. You have a controller hooked from an RJ45 cable from the dim out connection to the splitter box. On the other side of the splitter box, each is split into 4 channels. I have channel 1 hooked to cool white. I have channel 2 hooked to warm white. And I have channel 3 hooked to the Volcano. It's kind of weird how they're numbered 1, 3, 2, but that's how I have them hooked up. 1 and 2 and 3. And where I have them hooked up physically it's just on the drivers. They got an out and an in. So I have the RJ14 cord just hooked on the end on both sides. There's one on this side, one on that side. And then the RJ45 comes off the power cord of the Volcano to snake into there. We gotta look at the manuals and see what kind of power we're working with. So I'm all doing everything in 120 volt regular plugs. And so it tells me that on the Explorer I have to set the first 2 channels to 740 watts max. And when I'm looking at the Volcano, it's only a 1 channel light, so let's look to see how many watts this baby is. 120 watts it looks like, right here. Total wattage 120 on 120 volt. So we'll remember those numbers and put them into the controller. Alright, so now we're looking at the controller. I'm trying the best with this. You want to long press on the power button bottom here. And it sets up the 4 channels and their max wattages. So you can see where I've set 1 and 2 to 740 and 3 to 140. Channel 4 we're not using right now. We could always use it for another single channel light, veg light, whatever. Once you have those set correctly, hit this button in the top right corner checkbox. If for some reason you don't have all your channels over here, you can hit your system settings from this screen and you see them here. And you can toggle them on and off there. We could even toggle channel 4 off because we're not going to use it right now. So I'll go ahead and do that. So now we just see the 3 channels that we're going to use. Okay, from here we could play. I got 100% on the main dimmer, but I got all the channels turned off. I could hit each channel individually and turn them up. As you can see, that's the white channel turning on. Let's see, I'll turn it off for you to see on the camera. And I'll put the warm white channel on, dim it back down, and then the Volcano will give it some power. See, it's all working. So as it's blinking, I know I'm controlling the single channel. If it's not blinking, I know that's the main dimmer that will dim all channels. Let me just dim this one back down to 0. And we know it's working, so now all we gotta do is set up a timer schedule. Alright, I moved into the office to make it easier to hear me. So from this point we just have to set our timers. We have 3 channels, 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna go off of the manual. I'm just gonna do a flower spectrum like number 1, that's just all channel 1, or I mean all channel 2 and no channel 1. So that means all warm white. Let me get this back to here. And I'll go to make sure this is lit up, the customize button, and then go to timer and delete what I had in here. We'll make new commands. Hit this plus button on the top here. It asks you the execution time, so we'll just leave it there for 8 o'clock will be our on time. And for my spectrum mix, I wanted to do no cool white, which is channel 1. I wanted to do all warm white, which is channel 2. And for my under canopy, volcanoes, which is channel 3, I can set my percentage here. So if I want it dimmed, I can have it at 50% or whatever percentage I want. I'll leave it at 50% for now. So now I've got a command that at 8 o'clock, it's going to turn on channel 2 and channel 3. Channel 2 at 100%, channel 3 at 50%. Let me just say OK in this top right corner to accept those changes. Now, depending on what you have this set at, is going to depend on what your channels are here. So, for example, in my timer screen. At 8 o'clock, it's going to turn channel 2 on at 100% and channel 3 on at 50%. But see how it's at 100% and 50% for channel 1 and 2? As I decrease this main dimmer, it's going to decrease both of those. It's keeping the spectrum, but when I decrease this, those stay the same, but this decreases all of those by the percentages as I go down. You see the power going down, the power usage. But you see how the spectrum stays the same. It doesn't change the spectrum. So you can set your spectrum in here, and then you can dim with that main dimmer to get to the right PPFD that you want. Or if you already know the percentages that would be, if you figure all that out, you can have it come in at those correct percentages. That's fine as well. We have to add a second line now. And the second line is going to be all channels 0%. And we'll say that's at 20. Make it a 12-hour cycle. Military time, so that'd be 8 p.m. Lights on at 8 a.m., lights off at 8 p.m. And you know, we're only using 3 channels. We could always enable a 4th channel. Maybe it's a veg light, and we could put a veg cycle in there to turn on and off, turn those lights on and off on channel 4. But you can really utilize all 4 channels if you want to on these lights, even if you don't have a 4-channel light. If you have a Borg Evo, sorry, you're using up all 4 channels and you can't run multiple lights off of it. I hope that helped you guys. If you have any questions, just leave a comment and I'll do my best to answer them. Keep growing.